it's time to blow this scene. Get everybody in the stuff together. Okay, 3, 2, 1, let's jam.
Sup everyone, I'm Reviewing Otaku, and I'm here to review a cult classic that showed the world what anime can do. And that is Cory in the House. This is my first time doing a full anime series review. So how I'm going to set this up, I'm going to talk about the bad, the meh, and the good. And if I feel like it, I'll add a little spoilers review at the end. But don't worry, I'll give you a warning. With that said, let's get started. First, let's go off with the bad. There isn't any bad, let's move on to the meh. Nah, I'm just kidding. As a reviewer, of course I fully analyzed this series, and I was able to find some bad. And that is how the story is told. You see, Cowboy Bebop is an episodic series with an overarching story, which is fine and all. Being that it's episodic, they have a new adventure every week. The thing is, though, is that the overarching story is so much better than the episodic episodes. Now yes, the overarching story tends to be really dark and really depressing, so I see why they have the episodic episodes. The thing is that there are way too many episodic episodes. It'll take at least 6 episodes of this new adventure that they're going on till we get to the actual story. And it's a constant pattern. There are about 7, maybe 8 overarching story episodes. And this is a 26 episode show. Can you feel my pain? Is that when we went into the episodic episodes, I was just dying to get back to the overarching story. The best example I can give of this is Death Parade. Death Parade was episodic with an overarching story. But what made it different from Cowboy Bebop was that they would do at least 2 episodes of being episodic and then go back to 1 episode of the overarching story, not 6. That's the major flaw of this anime. Of course, the episodic episodes are not bad, they are enjoyable. It's just that you really want to get back into the main story, because it's just that good. The only other bad thing I can think about with this show is that it tends to make smoking seem cool, so, don't smoke, kids, no matter how cool it looks. This is fake. Now on to the dog. You see, one of the characters over in Cowboy Bebop is a little corgi named Ein. And Ein is the biggest mystery of all. Ein is a dog with human intelligence. That's basically all we really know about this dog. It's the biggest mystery. I want to know what is up with this dog and how it's able to do all these things. I would have liked a little backstory on Ein. But that's just me. Now for the good. The animation. Cowboy Bebop, the series came out in 1998. And wow. That animation, man, was so... Let me think of a word for a second here. Everything just flows together. Sure, it doesn't have any Kyoto Annie pretty colors, but it's the way how the characters move that makes it flow and makes it so beautiful. There's one scene in episode 5 when our main male character, Spike Spiegel, is falling from a building. Breathtaking. And you know what else makes that scene utterly breathtaking? The soundtrack. The soundtrack, I give a 10 out of 10. The soundtrack was composed by Yoko Kanno, who's done a bunch of various other anime that I will probably list over here somewhere. The soundtrack is mainly blues and jazz based. And sure, the majority of us do not listen to jazz and blues. I know I don't. But it just gives that anime an extra bit of swag factor. It makes it hip, it makes it pop, it makes it jump. And it keeps you intrigued. Both the anime and the soundtrack work together. One is not trumping the other. And that is a very hard skill. And lastly, our heroes. We follow our characters, Spike Spiegel, Jet Black, Faye Valentine, and Ed. Alright, and of course, Little Ein. Spike Spiegel is total swag factor. Just every time he comes on, especially with his voice, which, by the way, I watched the English dub. 10 out of 10 as well. Just his voice, his presence, and especially when he fights. Just adds more to, I may be getting a little repetitive here, but that swag factor. Jet Black used to be a cop, and he happens to own the ship that they fly throughout space, the Bebop. And Faye Valentine is known as one of the sexiest anime characters ever to exist. She so happens to be my favorite character of the show as well. I was surprised to see that Faye actually has her own set of skills. She's certainly handy with a gun, and she can kick some butt. Ed happens to be a genius hacker who is about 10 years old. Oh yeah, and Ed is a girl. I know it's a little hard to believe at some points, but Ed is a girl. You know what's another thing that I love about this anime? Its universe. Cowboy Bebop takes place in the year 2071. Not too many people live on Earth anymore, so they have spread out throughout the solar system, living on Jupiter and Mars. Half of the time, the story may not even take place over on a planet, and it's just them over on the Bebop. You know what's one interesting thing I noticed? The characters' relationship. You see, they're not exactly a family, and they're not really friends either. They each have their own problems, and a lot of the times they really don't want to get involved with each other's lives. If Spike has to go deal with his past, he'll go and leave the others out of it. Same for Jet and for Faye. Even Ed. That's the confusing thing about this anime. The characters' relationships with each other. It's interesting though, because Jet happened to mention this in the movie. Speaking of which, let me talk about that movie. In my opinion, the movie was better than the entire series as a whole. It kept you intrigued no matter what. The soundtrack boomed even more. The animation, completely flawless. I absolutely have not one con with that movie. Which leads me to another thing. How should you watch this show? You see, before I watched the anime, I did my research, and I watched Glass Reflections review, otherwise known as Arcada. I watched his review on Cowboy Bebop, and he said to watch episode 5, Ballad of the Fallen Angels, then head over to episode 6, and then go back over to episodes 1, 2, 3, 4, 7, 8, and so on. And I gotta say he was right. Somewhat. I think you should watch it by episode 5. Then go to 1, 2, 3, 4, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, and so on. But wait! We don't stop there! No. I want you at episode 22 to watch the movie. You see, once you finish watching episode 22, you should watch the movie and then continue on with the rest of the series. It'll make the ending so much more meaningful.
If you've been paying attention as to why I put the following categories in their ranking, then hopefully you understand as to why I'm giving Cowboy Bebop a 9 out of 10.
And that's all I have for you today. Comment down below on what anime you think I should watch next. You have a week to vote. If you'd like to see more videos from me, then please check out my currently airing anime daily reviews. I also make top 10 videos and anything else anime related. You can also check me out on Vine and Anime Amino at Sloan, the female otaku. Speaking of which, I am your female otaku, sayonara. Or as I say in Space Dandy, see you, Space Cowboy.